The first type of woman you shouldn't have sexual encounter with, be it for a fling or for dating, is a woman who is addicted to sex toys. Now, my kings, with a woman like this, you would never be able to satisfy her because the key word here is addiction. And because she's addicted to her toys, she would definitely prefer them to you anytime, any day. And again, because it's an addiction, it is something she would do numerous times a day because you know she's addicted to it. So all the time, her mind is occupied by it. And you know that is going to hurt your ego, that is going to bruise your ego as a king. Because just imagine you finish going down with your woman, you know you did your best to satisfy her, and then a few minutes later you see her playing with her toys. It's just going to blow your mind, it's going to really hurt you, which is why you shouldn't be with such a woman. And again, because it's an addiction, now it's going to come with other things. It's not just going to stop at her being addicted to her toys, it's also going to make her want to know more and do more. Because she's addicted to these things, she will want to always improve. So if there's a new type, if there's a new one, now she wants to get it for herself, she wants to use it, she wants to know more about it. So she might start making researches, watching videos, which can lead to con addiction. I know you know what I mean, my kings. And that is exactly the problem here, because it will bring numerous other things. It will not just end at that. And you know these things have become very convenient these days. They are making it in smaller sizes, easy to carry about, bigger sizes that she can always come back home to. And you know, if this is someone that you actually want to take serious, that you want to do life with, it's going to be very bad for you, because imagine seeing that every day. And like I mentioned, it's an addiction. So it's something that she might do numerous times a day. It might not just be one time. Even if you're being cheated on with a fellow king, that is going to hurt you and bruise your ego. Not to talk of knowing that you are competing against toys. That is going to be even worse. And that is exactly why you shouldn't be with such a woman. And also imagine, because she's addicted to this thing, imagine that she's using something that is bigger than you. Now when you're going down with her, it's not going to feel real anymore, because her space would have adjusted to the size of what she uses. And now when you go in, it's like it's just going free will, and that will not work for you, which is why you shouldn't continue to have encounters with this woman, more especially if you want to take things further. Like I mentioned, if it is something you want to do for life, then you should really reconsider. Even if it's a fling, I still feel you shouldn't continue with it. And again, you shouldn't be the one to introduce your woman to this, because at the end of the day, it might go against you. Because just imagine you introduce her to this and then she starts getting addicted to it. As time goes on, you know she's going to replace you with those things, and it's going to really hurt you. Unless the both of you agree and you decide on which particular toys to get for the both of your pleasure, then that's fine. That is something the both of you have to decide. But aside that, when you notice that a woman is addicted to this thing, then you really have to let her go. Another type of woman you shouldn't have sexual encounter with is a woman who shows interest in women. Now, my kings, with a woman like this, it just goes to show you that she might leave you for women. And because of that, you shouldn't continue being with her, especially if it is for something long term. If a woman shows you or has shown in any way that she's sexually interested or attracted to fellow women, then you know you should just take a step back, because it goes to tell you that that thing is never going to last. Even if she's with you, she might be with you just as a cover-up. She might even go ahead to marry you just to cover up, so she can be doing her acts low-key, so other people would not know that she's doing that thing, because maybe she doesn't want to own up to it. She doesn't want to come up front and say that's what she likes. Then she will be doing it in the background whilst using you as a shield, especially in our part of the world where these things are being frowned upon, at least for now. Now, these type of women will want to do this so that other people don't know what goes on with them. They will just marry you just to cover up, like I said, just to use you to, shield themselves from people. And then low-key, they'll be doing their things with fellow women. And maybe at the end of the day, that will end up hurting you, because maybe you'll find out. And even if you don't find out, you will just be played, because she's with you not for the right reasons. And because she's with you not for the right reasons, then you know it is never going to end well. No matter what happens, things are always going to pop up in the relationship or in the marriage that will hurt you in one way or the other, because her reasons of being with you are not straight. They are just for her own ulterior motives and for her own benefit. And since it's all about her, it will definitely be less about you. And that will make you suffer in such a relationship, which is why you should really pay attention to this. In fact, you need to ask questions, try to look for ways to see if a woman shows any form of interest in fellow women before you go ahead. Unless you are okay with it, which I doubt you would be, so you just need to pay attention. If she shows you that, then you know it's time for you to pick your things and get going. Now, just like the previous point, this type of women are women you really have to pay attention to and be very, very careful when you're dealing with them. And they are women who have been sex workers before. Now I know, yes, it is in the past. And can people change? Yes, like I mentioned, they can. But the chances of her going back to that life is just higher than the chances of her being faithful to you. So you shouldn't be the sacrificial lamb. I am not saying people cannot change, but you just have to be very careful, because what is the guarantee? What really makes you sure that she will not go back to it? Just imagine you go and continue with this woman until you marry her, and then all of a sudden she wants to go back to that lifestyle. How are you going to feel? Now you've already sacrificed all these years for her, which is exactly why I think it is just too dangerous of a risk to take, especially if you want something long-term with her. If you want to do life with a woman and you find out that she used to be a sex worker, then you really have to be careful. Of course, I'm not going to make decisions for you, but I feel like you really have to give it deep thought before you make that decision, because again, it is a lifetime thing. If you're going to commit your life to this person, that means for eternity till you die, you have to continue being with this person. And if she for any reason goes back to that lifestyle, it means you have to pay for it. And that is exactly why it is something you need to pay attention to. And that is why I also think that it is not healthy for you to continue to be with a woman like this. Now, another type of woman you shouldn't have sexual encounter with is a woman who indulges or have been in numerous weird sexual activities. Now, my kings, I am talking about a woman who have been in orgies, threesomes, weird flings, who has just done a lot of weird stuff sexually. You do not have any business with such a woman, because as a king, you need your pride intact. You need a queen who is going to be humble, submissive, treat you as a king that you are, and help you build your empire. So with a woman like this who is just overly exposed, being in numerous threesomes, being in orgies, they are just going to make you look bad. Because imagine walking down the road or down the street with your woman or your wife, and then now people recognize her. Of course, people are not going to accord any form of respect to you, because if it is a man or someone who has indulged in some of these activities with her, he's going to feel like, oh, he's eating our leftover. We've had her so many times. And of course, I'm not saying that people cannot change. People can change. But for a woman like this, it is very hard for you to tell that she will never go back to that. Not to talk of if it is something that she is still currently doing. Now that one, you really have to take your things and flee, unless you just want to keep tinting your image and making people disrespect you. But if that's not what you want for yourself, you have no business with such a woman. And of course, you are a king. You carry yourself as one. So bringing yourself down to this level where you are dealing with a woman who is just all over the place, overly experienced, and not just experienced with one person, indulges in all these weird sexual activities, you already know that that woman is definitely a no-no for you, which is why it is something you should look into. Look into her past. I know sometimes they will say the past doesn't matter. Sometimes it matters. You really need to be sure of what you're doing. And I know, like I mentioned, people can change. God can change people. But even at that, the person would have to agree to be changed. So if the person doesn't consent to it, even God cannot change them. So when you see that a woman is like that, or if she's currently indulging in these activities, then you definitely know that woman is not for you. Now, the last type of woman you shouldn't have a sexual encounter with on my list today is a woman who has had numerous abortions. Now, don't get me wrong, my kings. I am in no position to judge anybody for what they do with their lives. But the reason why I say that you shouldn't have encounter with this woman, especially if it is something you want for the long term, is because for her to have had numerous abortions, that means she has numerous encounters with numerous men. And for none of these numerous men to choose to be with her, then something is definitely wrong somewhere. She's either not a marriage material or there is something wrong with her character, because there is no way out of all these numerous people, none of them just thought to say, oh, okay, no problem, keep the baby, I'll take care of the baby, or I'll take care of you, or let me marry you. If that be the case, then something is wrong. So unless you want to be the one to carry that baggage, then you shouldn't be with a woman like this, especially if it is something you want for the long term. And also, it might have been her decision that she doesn't want to have a child, and because of that, whenever she gets pregnant, she gets rid of it. So if you want to do life with such a woman, you know already that means you're never going to have a child, because even if you marry her and she gets pregnant, she's still going to get rid of it because she doesn't want it. And then when you end up with such a woman and you're a king who actually wants children, that is going to be a problem for you, which is why it's just not advisable. At least if she's done it once or twice with valid reasons, it will make a little sense. But something she's done so many times, I don't think you should continue with a woman like that, especially again if it is for something long term. So that's it for this video, my kings. These are 5 types of women you should never have sexual encounters with. Please do let me know if you found this video interesting and informative as well. Do well to subscribe if you haven't done that already. Turn on the notification bell, like this video, drop a comment down below, share this video with your family and friends, and see you in the next one. Bye.